You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's American Horror Story After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's American Horror Story After Show.
Good evening, AfterBuzzers.
Good evening.
We are here at the AfterBuzz TV studios, doing fun things. I don't even know what to say anymore. I'm your host for the evening, David Schifilliti, joined again by the lovely and talented Sarah Huggins.
Hello.
And these two lovely ladies over here.
My name's Oriana Leo.
And I am Jillian Leff.
And we're getting witchy.
We are getting witchy. We're doing American Horror Story Season 3, Episode 4, titled Fearful Pranks Ensue.
And that they do.
I don't really know if the title goes
exciting.
so great with the episode. But a lot happened. We were thrown a lot of information tonight, and I'm still trying to process it all.
While you process, I would like to do a major shout out to our fans.
Please do.
I have been reading we've all been reading the YouTube comments, and you fans are unbelievable with the things that you guys put together as far as storyline, and what you uncover are things that we don't have time to put together ourselves in the short time between the walk from the screening room into this booth. So we love your input, your ideas. Please keep rating us and keep posting. And also, I'd like to shout out Juliet, our super fan from the Philippines.
Hello.
Hi.
You're amazing.
She is amazing. She follows us on Twitter and watches us at 11 a.m. in the Philippines on YouTube. So
fun.
Thank you, Juliet. She also is one who recommended that I dress up as this particular witch. Why don't we tell everyone at home that's listening what we look like?
Well, we decided that we wanted to dress up like our favorite witches for this week, because it was our Halloween episode, and it is Halloween week. Halloween's tomorrow. I, unfortunately, could not figure out who my favorite witch was.
You have so many.
I have so many that I'm just wearing a little sparkly hat.
But it's really cute.
And I did a traditional witch just because I couldn't decide either. It's too hard.
You're giving me Fiona in this episode.
Yeah.
I feel it. When she put on the hat tonight, I was like, that's me.
Sarah's the supreme,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen.
She
I love
wishes.
I don't know if any of you have
Looks
seen the
amazing.
1989 cult classic Teen Witch, but I am, in fact, Teen Witch Louise.
You look amazing.
You do look amazing.
Top that.
Yeah.
Oriana.
Well, Juliet from the Philippines recommended that I be our very favorite MM from the show. We think she's passed away in a rug or being played up as a doll. Our Madison Montgomery. So that is moi, Madison
Gorgeous.
Montgomery.
You look very fetching.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We're just so excited for Halloween.
We are very excited for Halloween.
So now we can let this episode it was kind of an expository episode.
It was.
Attached the last cray-cray episode to whatever's coming up next.
And before we jump into the episode, I do have one more thing to tell
us.
Our fans. Anna deeply apologizes.
Oh, yeah.
She couldn't make it again. This week, her new job has been giving her a lot of new responsibilities and is taking a little bit more of her time than she had expected. So she apologizes. She has been reading all your comments, and she loves you guys as well. So,
And I'm happy to be
But
here.
we're happy that
we're happy to have Sarah.
Yay. I'm happy to be here.
Even though she keeps touching me.
Well, we have to. I just want to cuddle David, and he doesn't want to cuddle me. I know, I feel it.
We're
Let's
just gonna put your hat
we'll
in the
take it
center
off.
of the
It's
room.
fine.
Let's break it down, people.
Let's break it down. Okay. So, I feel like we need to start with Angela Bassett.
Madame Buteau.
Yes, I love
I'm
how
never
you-
gonna remember her name
yeah.
because I want to just call her Angela Bassett all the time. And like guns.
Well, we find out that she can bring people, zombies, back.
Yes, but
Yes.
now here is my question for you guys. Okay, so she has this. We find her powers are able to bring people back from the dead, but as zombies, amongst other things. But is it only on one particular day? Was she able to? Was the zombies in 1961 the same? Was it also Halloween?
Great question.
I don't think so because I feel like they would have told us because all they said was New Orleans 1961. I feel
Right.
like they would have said New Orleans Halloween 1961.
Or there
if
would
that
have
was
been
the
like
only...
some sort of reference to Halloween on
Some
that
kind
day?
of
Right.
costume.
Yeah. Okay, that's true. I
So
guess.
how is that different than just the power of resurrection that like Misty Day has?
Well, because she's not restoring them to life. They are walking dead. So
Yes.
it is different, but we're not sure how
Okay.
on the spectrum
Okay.
of magic.
Right.
And what Marie Laveau does is she conjures up sort of the source of the problem,
Okay.
and she summons the zombies to take care of the problem. So in the first instance, it happened to be the men that lynched
That
the little
poor
boy,
little boy.
which was
Right.
just the zombie killing in the first 3 minutes was so gruesome. I was not, that came out of left field for me. I understand that
It was
this show
very-
is gory, but
Right.
I shut my eyes because I'm
It was
afraid.
a total dismemberment.
Yeah.
And each man got dismembered in a different way. It was pretty incredible.
Flying body
I did
parts.
not close my eyes. I was watching.
yeah.
The special effects
I also watched every
were pretty incredible for that scene. So you need to go back and rewatch it because this one guy had his
entrails
like
pulled
pulled out,
out.
and they were just like pulling them like a magician's scarf. It was really awesome
Yeah, I want to see it
to
again.
watch.
Scary.
Slow. We would have put it in
Frightening,
slow mo.
but
If you watched it 4
cool.
times, would you still be scared of it?
I am gonna go back and watch it. Maybe I'll do it with more people than just you guys.
Yeah.
And we were
Or
in a
with the
dark
lights on.
we were in a dark
There we go.
room. So, but we do find out that she's able to sort of send the power of the zombie to specific people. And you know, in the second instance where she brings back these people from underground, she is forcing them to go after Fiona because Fiona kills Bastien.
Right. And we see the
Right.
blinking Bastien head in the cardboard box.
She decapitates him.
We think.
We don't know if she's killed him
Right, we
because
did not
that
see it
bullhead
happen.
is blinking.
Is his
So
body
weird.
alive though, running around somewhere?
Great question.
And where is it?
Is he like a chicken?
Oh my gosh, that's a
The headless
bizarre
horseman.
visual.
No, this is
These are
legit.
Legit
Minotaur.
questions. Yeah.
The headless
Headless
Minotaur.
Minotaur.
It's very possible
She's
that his
probably
body's
keeping
still
him
alive somewhere.
Steven, is there any chance I can get my mic up, or do I have to do it myself?
You're gonna have to do
That
it,
works.
Okay.
so.
Yes, thank you very much.
So, I mean, there's a lot of questions, but it turns out that. What's her name again? Angela Bassett.
You're the worst.
Yes.
I am the worst.
AB.
Angela Bassett is a lot more powerful than I had initially thought.
Really?
Yes, okay.
Zombies.
That is
That's
some
pretty
pretty
cray-cray.
powerful stuff. I mean, I get like the whole immortality thing,
Right,
and like
I
she
mean, that
stopped
was
her
pretty
aging,
legit.
but that was a potion,
Okay. Right.
and this was like
These are
full
these
like
spells.
conjuring
Right.
Right. I understand that. Gotcha.
thing.
And I get that too. Also, I was kind of looking at my notes about the war that they're starting again.
Yeah.
About how going back to 1961, about
That
how
amazing
they
afro.
divided the territories, and it kind of brings me back to like gang wars.
Yeah.
The Sharks and the Jets?
Right. Exactly.
Sorry, I did
Total
musical theater.
sharks and jets.
So it kind of reminded me of like territory, gang war, whatever. I thought it was pretty funny. They were dividing the territory of Louisiana between the two of them, or their witches, their kind, whatever kind of magic they practice, and that they're sort of by sending over the bullhead or the minotaur head, that piece is broken.
I'm curious though as to what the terms of this quote unquote treaty were.
Correct.
Killing one of their own.
Okay, but are they allowed to cross into one another's territory? Are they allowed to practice magic in one another's territory?
I really think that the truce was to stop bloodshed.
Okay.
I think that there was certain deaths that were happening, and they wanted to stop that, and Fiona sort of broke the truce by killing Bastien, who was clearly Marie Laveau's property.
Okay, right. Yes.
But, like, it's just another question.
Here's the question. Did Fiona break the truce by killing him, or did Angela Bassett break the truce by sending him?
Or did Fiona break the truce by digging up Madame Lalaurie, which how would she know in the first place?
Or did she break the truce by showing up in Cornrow City, which is the name of the salon?
Amazing.
Really, people.
Really, people. And
love it.
Setting the wigs on fire. It's like, you know, it's very tricky as to who actually started this downright war, because yes, she sent the head, but he was sent to begin with, and he harmed one of her girls first.
Right.
Because we found out from last week, Queenie was unable to control Bastien, and he, from what we heard in the beginning of the episode, someone was moaning. So someone was getting busy.
So, and that's interesting because we all had various, and the comments on YouTube too were great about what people were thinking, and I don't think we really got a resolution to what happened.
No,
there.
We don't know if they had sex or not.
Because Queenie doesn't seem like she was raped to me. She doesn't seem...
She seemed like she was attacked.
Yeah, she was bleeding from the stomach.
Stop it.
Right.
And we see the Minotaur in the back, but he doesn't attack Fiona. Right?
Right.
She looks back, and there he is, like, kind of behind her, but when nothing happens. So who attacked Queenie? Was it the Minotaur? Did they just have passionate love-making, and something else attacked? Like,
Or, like, is that just the aftermath of...
What happened? Of their passionate love-making meant that she was destroyed on the inside?
Because she didn't because she didn't seem, like, traumatized afterwards, honestly. Like, she was able to give an interview about... you know, and like the whole thing. I mean, honestly, like if you were raped, I don't think
she was able
to
still be really, really bitchy to Madame Lalaurie, who says, I can't, she's crying over her, I don't know how to thank you for saving my life. And she's like, well, you better think about it then.
Right. So like if you were like assaulted, I don't feel like you would be like that.
Here's my question for you, Sarah.
Yes.
And you two lovely ladies as well.
He doesn't know her name.
I do.
Just kidding.
I do know your names.
You could just call them letters.
Shut
OJ. OJ. Oh my god. Amazing. Amazing. OJ.
What comes... Okay. How do I pose this question now?
Speak.
Queenie, if she was raped, or if she wasn't, has also just been brought back from the dead. I feel like that trumps being raped. Is that weird to say?
Well, on what scale are we trumping? Like...
She died.
Right.
She died.
And came back to life.
Right.
I feel like that's a pretty awesome gift.
We know that for a fact.
That she died?
She stopped breathing.
Boxy was like, she stopped breathing, and then...
We don't know that she was
Fiona
dead.
breathed into her.
Right.
And then was like, I got a heartbeat.
Right. But she didn't necessarily,
so that makes me believe that there wasn't a heartbeat.
Right, but dying is a bit extreme. Like, she lost breath. She could have had, like, some sort of brain damage or something. Obviously, she doesn't have. I don't know. I just didn't get that from that, but maybe I'm crazy.
I got that because Foxy was like, screamed, I got a heartbeat.
Yeah. But, like, people, like, come near death. I feel like that was, like, a near-death experience, but not... Whatever, we don't have to harp on it, but...
We don't.
I'd love to know. So Queenie self-inflicts pain, and she can direct it towards another person.
Right.
What happens when she is not inflicting the pain? What happens when somebody else is inflicting the pain?
Right.
Like Bastien. What happened...
On her?
On her. Does something happen? Does it transfer to someone else? Like, we know very little about her backstory. Like,
And her power.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that in these, you know, next episodes, we're going to find out a little bit more about her, because it's sort of just confusing me. I mean, we're finding so much, and yet we know so little.
Right. And then we're only on episode 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, I'm curious, too, to see how this relationship with Madame Lalaurie forges forward as this horrible racist, you know, who has this moment of like gratitude of literally coming out of the closet, literally clutching the little towel on her hand, saying the black girl saved my life.
She was super vulnerable.
She was really grateful and vulnerable.
Yeah.
So I think that's a storyline we're going to see play out. I hope to see play out.
New besties?
Well, maybe we'll see. I wouldn't go that far.
Here's hoping.
They're going to braid each other's hair.
I'd like to
Do the
touch
Cosmo
on
quiz.
just the other like minor storylines so that we can get into the meme potatoes of Zoe and Frank and Kyle, because that's a little tiny tidbit.
That was real weird for me.
It was a little weird for me too, but here, Zoe's character really is starting to confuse
Have
me.
I mentioned how much I hate her?
Yes.
Okay.
That's fine.
Because the pilot episode is so centered around this character, Zoe. And
That's
for the
true.
past 3 episodes, she's barely in them.
Right, she's like secondary.
She's very secondary
Yeah.
at best. And this week, we see her for maybe 5 minutes of the entire episode with Kyle. I mean, he's banging his head on...
No, Kyle.
And says...
He knows
No,
his name.
Kyle.
David was really happy he knew
spoke
his own name.
more
"Oh my God,
words."
he
Yeah.
speaks.
Yeah.
She goes, Kyle. And he goes,
No, Kyle.
No, Kyle.
No, Kyle.
So he recognizes that he's not Kyle.
He does.
Then she has a moment of thinking she's gonna mercy kill him with rat poison.
Right. And she's like, you're
In the
hungry.
tuna.
Let me get you some food. You're hungry.
I was confused by that though. Like, does she really want him? I mean, obviously he's in a lot of pain and whatever, but does she really want him dead?
Who knows what Zoe wants? She is
Right.
such a wishy-washy, spineless character.
Right.
I hate her. But in my opinion, it looked, when she was looking up there and there was a scale and there was rat poison, she was thinking, well, should I just put him out of his misery because he's clearly, this should have never happened.
Right.
You know, but...
And also, she doesn't know the reason why he killed his mom.
Right.
She doesn't know
yeah.
about any of that. So it's like she knows that
She
he's
just thinks he's
suffering for
crazy.
something, but she doesn't know why he was violent. And that's the thing that terrifies her. When he goes and touches the side of her face and moves her hair, she's terrified and crying because she doesn't know if he's going to snap. You know, why did he snap and bludgeon his mom with a trophy?
And
Like,
frankly, we don't know that he won't snap.
exactly.
Frankly, we don't know
Where he went.
where
he disappeared.
He disappeared.
He's gone.
He's out.
And there was like, I just spit all over the table. It was
Good thing you're
really
far away.
awesome.
Great. Well, he's really close to me.
It went that way.
Amazing.
There was like a little, I feel like, throwback to his character from season 1 when the car drove by and there was a skeleton
Yes, staring at her.
staring at her, and I was like, oh, look, it's Tate driving by.
Yeah.
Hey,
Very
Tate.
interesting.
I miss
Yeah,
you.
I thought it was very fun.
He's
And
out
then,
on the
but then, and then
loose.
But then that was
poof,
it.
that's it.
That was the end of
Yeah.
the story, and we were like, okay, fine. whatever.
Okie doke.
And then she just returns to the house.
With no explanation. No one has said, where have you been? Have you seen your girlfriend Madison?
Nor does she seem to care that Kyle is missing
Right, right.
anymore.
Or
She
that
gets- she
Madison's
comes-
missing.
Or
Or
that
she, Madison, she's more like, we need to go look for her. But that's kind of it.
She doesn't, like, it shocked me that she didn't set out on a search for Kyle immediately. She was just like, all right, I guess you're gone amongst the Halloween.
Call me.
You know, I agree. Maybe, I mean, there just wasn't room for it, I think.
Maybe he went back
Yeah.
to Misty's. Let's hope he went back to Misty's.
So
Oh, that would be nice.
now we have the Coven. We have
the council.
The council,
The
sorry,
council.
thank you. The
And
council.
the Coven.
And Spalding, you know what sidetracked me is that I wrote down amazing sparkly shoes on MM.
Oh,
When
yeah.
she's getting rolled up in the rug by
That was
Spalding.
incredible.
All I could say was, shoes! Look at her shoes!
Oh my God.
Any of you fans, if you can just stop, slow-mo, rewind, and find out the brand and let us know, tweet me at Miss Oriana Leo. Love to know.
I'll figure it out for you.
Yes,
My
you will.
guess? Okay, Giuseppe's and Zanatti. That's my
That's
guess.
what your guess
I
is?
think that they were
Really?
Giuseppe's and
How
Zanatti.
much money do we want to put on it? $5?
I'm thinking $6.50 now.
Okay.
Sorry.
So we found out the butler's name, Spalding, which I'm sure has been said before.
One time, the very first
The
episode,
very first episode.
and then they said, "What cat got your tongue?" And then they started calling him names.
Yeah. And it was said like 1,000 times this week. So
He's
I feel
a
like
creepy doll guy.
he's obsessed with, he like is a doll collector, I would say at this point, right?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
has tea parties
He
with
loves a
them.
good porcelain doll, you know.
Who doesn't?
Casual.
They're beautiful. We also find out that he doesn't cut his nails. And
Right.
he has some sort of fungus growing on them, which really
Gross.
grosses me out. He could use a haircut.
He dresses up like a girl.
And when
likes
he's
to wear a good wedding
alone,
dress or
he
something.
likes to wear 90s.
And then I was just trying to figure out, are these
Bonnets?
doll clothes? Like, is he trying to dress like a doll? Or a baby?
Maybe a baby.
Or a baby doll?
I think he does dress up like a doll, and that's why he has full size, like a people versions of doll clothes.
The bonnet really threw me. Like when he started
putting the
tying
bonnet
that up.
on.
Yeah,
And
that
then
was a
having a
little
tea
weird.
party
Right.
with our stone cold bitch that's dead.
But she looked amazing.
She did look amazing.
She looked great. He beat the shit out of her face.
Or just a terrible makeup job.
Right.
That's what it's called.
Oh. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
In the drag queen
Didn't
world.
know. Oh, really?
Yes.
Every day's a school day.
Every day's a school day. If you didn't already
Okay.
know, he beat her face, which is put makeup on it.
amazing.
And is putting on a dress, putting like this weird, creepy dress on her that kind of looks like a wedding dress.
Right.
And he's having a tea party with her.
Yes.
Why?
Why? Oh, phew.
We thought he was going to put it on.
I thought
for
he was going to put
a
it on as
minute.
well. But my thing is like, when he could speak back in 1961, he says to Fiona, "My last words are, I have always loved you."
Key Whitney Houston song.
Yeah.
Oh, I will
Totally.
always love you.
Steven,
I
that
will
would have been
always love you.
perfect. You'd have been ready.
And then he cuts out his tongue.
It's okay.
Right.
Which I really thought Fiona had cut it out.
I thought so as well.
Me too.
That was a surprise.
That was a nice
Big
twist.
surprise. But why is he such a weirdo? This is like, I'm very confused. Like, why
this is
introduce the fact that he's a complete weirdo with the dolls
now.
now?
Was
Like,
he a
what
weirdo
is
before the
point?
tongue?
Okay, this is the
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Okay.
I think that he is just one of those people that appreciates pretty things. That is why he fell in love with Fiona, and that is why he still does. He's at her beck and call all the time.
You think that's why he kept MM?
Yes, and
He's
I
a
think
collector
that
of fine
I
things.
think that he likes pretty things, and although these are his sort of friends, I guess. I mean, he can't talk. His tongue was cut out many years ago, and I think it's just about
By himself.
Yes, because of his love for Fiona. He
Right.
did
But
not
why
want to give
did
her
he-
up.
No, because he heard that she had.
He heard that Myrtle had enchanted his tongue.
He couldn't tell a lie. Gotcha.
Yes, so
Right.
that's why he cut it out, and he cut it out for Fiona, for the love of Fiona.
Right. But
You can't tell a lie. Does that also mean you can't write a lie?
No.
No.
And that was kind of the whole question that I had
Right.
before, which is why couldn't he have written it down? But obviously Myrtle was the only one that ever cared.
Right.
Right?
and he's in love with Fiona.
right.
And Myrtle was the reason that he cut his tongue out.
Right.
He didn't lie,
Right. That's true.
you know?
But I think the bigger question is he's just weird.
Right.
He was weird before, he's weird
Yeah.
now, and they're revealing it for some reason. We're going to find out soon.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
know.
he's gonna keep
It's just like-
Madison, and she's gonna start decomposing, most likely.
Sure. But I feel like they're introducing stuff that is kind of unnecessary.
It feels unnecessary
It
right
feels
now.
super unnecessary to reveal the fact that he likes to play with dolls.
I'm not gonna lie, that on top of zombies, that Madame Lalaurie flashes are her daughters, it was a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
I was a little bit like, really? Right now?
All
The
of
last
What do you
10
girls
minutes
think?
was like explosive.
Right.
I mean, because like up until then, I feel like it was a lot of just informational stuff, and then like the last 10 minutes was like, whoa, like what's going on, you know? And I wish the whole episode had been like that. I mean,
Well,
I
let's
understand that it can't. But.
jump into the information that
Yeah.
we learned
God.
this week
Yeah.
from the council. Okay. Someone else talk.
we
because I
learned
just-
we learned
I have
that
total brain fart.
Myrtle and Fiona went to Miss Robichuk's academy together.
Yes.
We learned that Myrtle knows that Fiona killed the Supreme, and Myrtle
But
also...
do we know that she knows, or we just know that she thought?
She suspects.
She said something about
No, she knows when people are telling a lie.
Okay, so that's one of her crafts,
Exactly.
her powers.
So she knew that Fiona was telling this lie and that it was the biggest deal that she was going to become the Supreme. So we find out that chunk. There's also some sort of jealousy there, I'm sure, because maybe, you know, Myrtle thought that she was going to be the Supreme, and she was appointed to the council. We find out that there is a faboosh council member that is full of sass.
Now, what was his name?
Loved him. Didn't get his name.
Didn't get his name.
People, tell us his name. He was hysterical.
Yeah, hysterical. Except his height and the height of the person that threw acid on Foxy's face made me a little suspicious, but I don't see how that's possible. There were just some ugly shoes and short person in the stall, and that's all
David
I'm saying.
thinks it's him.
Really?
I do think it's him. I just don't see the motive behind
I don't see the motive either, but just the stature seemed correct.
On height.
I just feel like the council was definitely against Fiona, all of them.
But
Except for him.
But look at Fiona. She's rubbing it in their face. You know, I mean, obviously Myrtle is being dramatic and going on and on about you've been horrible, you might as well have never been here. But she's really like rubbing it in their face.
Well, yeah, she's like, you're not going to prove it.
Well, the one interesting that Myrtle says to Fiona is that you are supposed to be here for the benefit and the betterment of our kind.
Right.
And you deserted us.
Right.
And she listed like a bunch of things that she was supposed to do that she never did.
Which I think is important to keep in mind. Like, yes, they are laying it on thick with her, but she deserves it, and she knows she deserves it.
She admitted that last episode about real. You know, I've been so selfish. I've taken everything I have and putting it right back into myself.
Yeah.
And there's the council telling her exactly the same thing.
Right.
You haven't done your due diligence. You haven't been there for those that needed you.
Okay. So we find out that.
Yes.
We also find out that Hank is a murderer.
Oh my gosh.
Hank is
Blue?
not only a murderer, a total creep.
Out of the blue.
Like-
No, he's a cheating, lying, cheating murderer.
Okay.
Okay.
David and I near died when they said that they met in a Thomas Kincaid
Can we
chat room.
side note, please?
Okay,
Because I don't know.
Yeah, or
I don't know what this
didn't know.
is.
Do you want to explain Thomas Kincaid?
Thomas Kincaid is a painter. I mean, you added the part where he might be a tad religious, but
No, he is.
Oh, he is.
It is like a known thing. He is like a Christian painter.
Okay, he paints beautiful landscapes.
But he only paints landscapes. You can only buy his paintings in the mall.
Oh, is that where I've seen his name?
Yes.
Okay, that's why I thought he was an
Always.
author. He's a painter.
I have
Okay.
definitely seen
You can go to any suburb in any town,
There's a Thomas
and there's a
Kincaid
Thomas Kincaid store.
Okay, that makes sense. Now
yes.
that's why it's so familiar. So she's laughing about how they met in a Thomas Kincaid chat room online.
What's weirder is that they were in a chat room.
Well, what's
Wait, I
weirder
don't think
is
it was
that
a chat room.
is that he went into the most like banal, generic.
Right. I thought she was going to say we met in like, what is that, AshleyMadison.com, where they like, you know,
Have
men
a
with
fair.
wives.
married men.
Right.
Side note, Sarah's obsessed with that website.
No, I'm not. But I was like, what is it? I don't
It's
even
because
know.
they do the client list too, besides the show.
And
Yeah.
we're used to talking about cheating men.
We are, so it wasn't a shock to me.
Yeah, but I mean, I was like, excuse me, and something I'd never heard of. I thought it was going to be something like that.
It's just nice to finally get an explanation for why Hank has been so absent. I mean, we do know that there's a reoccurring theme in the Coven that men speak very little. Right. But it's nice to know that he is not just there to be there.
Right. He's not a placeholder.
There is an eventual. They're building up to this thing that is going to happen. This point that the character is going to make, and the reason why he killed her. Not to mention, let me rewind for a second. The sex scene between him and the redhead.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Was
Violent.
Violent and like kind of scary. And it made me think, okay, is this who because we hadn't seen the kill shot yet. I thought, is this who Hank really is? Or is this because Foxy's eyes went black when they were doing the sex snake thing and he's turned into a monster? But he said in bed he was a monster for Halloween last year. Mm-hmm. And so it made me think,
right.
Okay.
It's possible that this is his Halloween ritual.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Once a year, he gets to kill somebody and have violent sex with them
first
beforehand.
Interesting.
That's a great idea.
Well, we found out his job as well.
No, we did not.
That's a fake job.
It has to be a fake job, yeah.
Yeah, I think he just...
Because are all his jobs fake? The construction?
Well, as Fiona said, when Foxy says,
full of bullshit.
why don't you like
Right.
Hank? She says, Hank reeks of BS.
And he totally does.
So I don't think we can trust anything that
and
he
he
says.
seemed so sweet when we first met him.
They all do.
Super sweet. Let's
I
continue.
know.
What else did we
Sorry.
learn? I think was that it?
Oh,
No, we
like
learned
there's
one more
something
thing.
else.
we talked about the truce.
Yeah.
We talked about Spalding. We talked about
Do we?
the lynching scene.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. I have to make a real quick comment about the cinematography. The wide shot on the lynching tree and the boy was beautiful,
was
but
beautiful.
haunting and horrible, obviously.
Yeah.
But
I was actually very confused as to why it started out in color. That scene was in black and white, and then it went back to color.
That was interesting.
But I thought it was more the emotion, like there was all the color was gone. Like when you lose your color from your face, like you're sick. I felt that feeling from it. Like it was sickening
beautiful.
to see this big, beautiful tree with this poor little boy hanging from it. It's like there's no color to be had in that scene.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There's no beauty there, but it's a beautiful shot.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there shouldn't be color because it's so disgusting.
I like that.
Me too.
Analysis.
Check, please.
Besides
Done.
Besides the BS one-liner that we just talked about,
Oh.
I'd love to return back to when the council is interviewing Queenie and asks where Madison could be.
And she said,
What a gem. She says she's probably, or she's known for hard drinking, or she likes hard drinking, big dicks, and trouble. And she probably offered the Grim Reaper a hand job on her way out. So if that's not a line for you people, I don't know what is.
And what's really interesting is that Nan is the one that's behind the council coming. Nan is really pushing to find out what's happened to MM.
well, it makes complete sense, her reasoning behind why she calls the council.
Right.
Why she called the council and went to that extreme. That is what I'm confused about.
Why didn't she say, ask
Why didn't she
Cordelia?
say something to somebody else?
And Cordelia had a lot of theories on why the council could be there. I loved that.
I know, that
She
was-
like, is it about this or this or
Well,
this?
Cordelia's...
Yeah, she's a mess.
A head case.
But oh my
Right.
gosh, by the end of this episode, she's an actual mess. We don't even know what her face looks like.
She had
my
acid thrown in her
God.
face. She's puking from either too
don't-
much drinking or maybe she's preggers.
I think she's pregnant.
I hope
with
she's pregnant.
Hank, the dirtbag's baby.
Drama.
Demon child.
Demon dirtbag.
I have a theory behind Hank.
do you
And we'll
think?
talk
Is it
about
a
it in
prediction?
predictions.
Okay.
Okay.
I won't forget it.
Oh, and the hot neighbor came by for like 30 seconds.
yeah.
I mean, there were so many cameos and little spots from all of our main, all of our main characters.
Yeah.
His mom, we didn't see in this episode, but there's so many people kind of were like, "Hey, what's up? Okay, later."
Right.
Well, it only leads us into, because this looks like the first half of a two-parter. So hopefully next week, everything
be
that was brought up
huge.
this week will just, like, all those storylines will just
The
make
loose ends will be.
tied up.
And I want to talk about the title of the episode.
Okay.
Fearful Pranks Will Ensue.
Yeah.
Madame Lalaurie mentions it in the episode when she's talking about the history of Halloween. So I think it does have some significance. I don't know if it's part of a fable that has to do with Halloween.
It's pretty much, that's what All Hallows Eve was. I mean, that was the night that the spirits would come out and walk the earth, and you would make sacrifices to please them. And that's where Fiona corrects her. And it's like, oh, the sacrifices are just candies now, and it's kids in costumes. It's not actual ghosts.
Well, and I forget who said it, but they were like, Halloween gives people permission to be who they really want to be. And I
That
like
was Alexandra Breckenridge.
Yes.
That was the mistress
Yes.
to Hank.
Who wouldn't
My
even
favorite
give her an
line
actress
in
name.
this episode is when Kathy Bates answers the door and goes, "Oh, little beggar children dressed all fancy."
And you decided you're going to
good.
answer your door like that.
From now on. It doesn't matter who's there.
I'm terrified.
It doesn't matter. It could be my mom. That's how I'm answering the door.
That is amazing.
My life.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So do we think we hit on everything?
We did, but there was so much
There's so much little stuff.
little stuff that happened this week that it wasn't, to be honest, my favorite episode so
Me
far.
neither.
But I kept saying, I think more of an expository episode. They have to get that narration and explanation out.
They do, and we're so early on in the season that we need episodes
Yeah.
like this to make sense as to what's going to happen at the end of the season.
You know what? On our side of things, it's really difficult to break down an episode like this. So
It
we're
is.
trying our hardest here. But if you guys see any sort of cracks that you can fill in for us or theories, we love your theories. Yesterday, I mean,
So great.
I was reading the comments yesterday, and I'm obsessed with the theory that Bastien is a Minotaur as a form of punishment because he cheated. I love that. We didn't think of that. You know, there's so many things that you guys contribute to us and you help us, and we so appreciate it. And hopefully you can sort of fill in the blanks that we had with this episode.
Yeah, hopefully.
Totes.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure you guys will.
We're counting
guys are
on you.
awesome.
Yes.
We are counting on you.
Yeah. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I have news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
We knew you would.
Okay, I love
it.
the news and gossip. I saw a picture of Evan Peters filming in New Orleans, another picture, and he is in his fraternity shirt. So that,
Interesting.
listen,
Flashback.
it could be a flashback scene, but it also could be the notion that Kyle has regained his voice. We don't know.
Interesting.
Kyle's
back.
No, Kyle.
Yeah.
Goes back on to
Let's
live a
hope
normal life. I mean, listen, if Zoe's going to take the time, he mimicked Zoe. So if Zoe's going to take the time to really make him the man that he was, it could happen. I don't know. He looked completely put together. His shirt was clean. He looked nice.
In this picture.
In the picture.
And where did you see this picture?
I saw it on a paparazzi agency. So
Oh, wow.
it's out there. If you Google Evan Peters, American Horror Story, Louisiana, I'm pretty sure it's just going to pop up. A bunch of news outlets covered it. But I'm excited to see why he looked like his normal self.
Interesting.
My only thing is that even if he could regained his voice and was able to speak and was totally normal again, there's no way in hell he could go back to school and go back into the frat because they collected his dead body parts.
His mother identified his body.
Who's now
Who's dead.
flat as a pancake.
I'm just playing devil advocate
Right.
here. You know, I'm thinking it could happen. Ryan Murphy has done crazier things.
Yeah,
I
that's
guess
true.
that's very true.
Did anyone read the spoiler alert on if MM is really dead or if they're coming back?
Spoiler alert.
I'm not going to share. I just wanted to know.
I was gonna
No.
ask. I could have seen it and I stopped reading.
I
don't
did
know if I want to know.
I made the same decision. I actually didn't want to know.
Right.
Yeah. So I just wanted to know if did either of you.
I didn't.
The information's out there.
Yeah.
But I chose to keep
Yeah.
my eyes closed. I didn't want to know.
I want to have like genuine reactions to it.
Awesome.
Yeah. You don't? You're gonna go read it. He's gonna read it immediately after this.
I could care less.
Interesting.
Any other news and gossip?
That's all I got.
Okay. We have more news and gossip. Thank you. Turn
Right.
off this
Hello.
music.
Premature predictions.
Thank you. What's the other news and gossip, Sarah?
I don't have it. You have it. I told you to get it to me.
Actually, David really doesn't have like news
It's
and
more like
gossip.
special
Now.
segment-y.
It is actual.
TV.
I have
You
something
didn't
else.
give it to me. I told you to
I
give it to me.
told you to look it up yourself.
Okay, tell me what
Sorry.
you got, people. Tell me what you got.
Anyway.
Okay. Well, before we jump into predictions, I do have a little special segment for you guys. It is the top 5 in the spirit of the season. The top 5 Hollywood grossing witch films.
Ooh, tell.
We have The Witches of Eastwick,
Oh.
starring
one.
Jack. It's not number 1. It's not in any particular order.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
All right. I thought it was.
Nope.
Okay.
Witches of Eastwick, which stars Jack Nicholson, Michelle Pfeiffer, Cher, Susan Sarandon. Amazing film. If you haven't seen it, go out there and see it. It came out in 1987. It was directed by George Miller, and it grossed $63 million.
Which by
in
then
the box office
was a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
Think about that. Harry Potter, which we all know.
That counts as a witch movie.
That's a wizard movie.
I agree. Wah, wah, wah.
It's a witch wizard, kind of the same thing.
Wizzy movie.
Stars Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint. Why it's there came out. The first one came out in 2001. It grossed between all of the films $15 billion.
Wow.
That's ridiculous. Wizards.
Can't even think about
in the
that.
box office alone, which is crazy. We have Practical Magic, which came out in 1998, and
I
it
remember that.
stars
Sandra Bullock, right?
Sandra Bullock,
I don't
Nicole
think I
Kidman.
saw that
Nicole
one.
Kidman, Stockard Channing,
good.
Deanne Weist.
Really good.
Such a great movie.
How much did that gross?
That grossed $68 million.
Well, I need to put that on my Netflix queue.
Yeah.
It is on. I think it's streaming on Netflix. The Craft, which came out
course.
in 1996. It stars Robin
Tunney.
Yes. Fairuza Balk, Nev Campbell, and Rachel True.
Amazing.
That was when Nev
movie.
Campbell was at her prime.
Yes.
Amazing.
That grossed $55 million
Wow.
in the box office. And we have Hocus Pocus, which came out in 1993. And that stars Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, Kathy Najimy, Thora Birch, and Vanessa Shaw. Directed by Kenny Ortega.
I put a spell on you.
Yeah.
That's my favorite of all.
It's my
Amazing.
favorite.
My
of all.
favorite of all as well. And that grossed $39 million in the box
But
office.
I wonder though, out of all of those, Hocus Pocus has definitely played on ABC Family.
Yes.
For years.
One of the
20
most
times.
well known.
Right.
Sure.
Like people, yeah. I mean, 1993.
I don't know if it's the most well-known, because Witches of
Maybe-
Eastwick is the only one that was nominated for Academy Awards.
In our
But
generation,
I bet
maybe.
like 20-year-olds
Okay.
have no idea, except for like there's a new Witches of Eastwick on Lifetime, so I'm sure they have heard of that one, but they probably haven't heard of the oldie.
Well, it sounds like there's a great watch list out there for our fans if they
Yeah.
want to get
Great
in the
watch list.
spirit. Thank you, David.
You're welcome.
That was a good one.
Okay, now prediction.
Okay.
We can jump into predictions.
Ooh, thank you.
Thanks. Great. Okay, so my theory
Yeah.
behind Hank is that he's a full-on serial killer, which I sort of hinted at before.
Okay.
I also do not think he's human.
I agree.
Where
with the
does that come
non-human.
from?
I don't know. From his comment that last year I was a monster.
Okay.
I know I'm like stretching it a little bit, but I feel like maybe that's why they can't get pregnant, because he's the one who isn't
I like that a lot.
human.
I like that a lot.
Even though he's like, maybe he's in a demon in a human's body or something like that, or something's taken him over, but I don't feel like he's legit.
Do you think
people.
he's always been that way, or do you think that he just became that way since the whole pregnancy
I'm going to say he's always been
spell
that way.
stitch? Interesting.
Yeah.
I
And I
don't
think
know.
that's my only prediction.
I'm sad that he's a bad guy. That's my prediction.
That's not a
That's
prediction.
not a prediction. That's a
It's an
feeling.
emotional response. It's an emotional response. I know he's bad, and I'm sad about it. I don't think he's human. I agree. Like as soon as we saw him, I feel like this episode, he had a new attitude. That's why I don't want to say it's my prediction that it happened, because like you said, he did like kind of give a hint that like he's been this way for a while, but I do see a change in him, like his attitude, his demeanor, and granted we've only seen him really in one episode, but I did see a lot this time that was different, I feel like, than the first time we saw him. So
Okay.
So I read the article that one of the commenters sort of mentioned. It was a BuzzFeed article about Jessica Lange, and she spoke about the first time in the American Horror Story series that she is going to fall deeply in love. We've seen her with sort of playthings in episode 1. She sort of used men to her benefit, but she's about to fall deeply in love. So I'm excited for that. Apparently he is a serial killer, and his name is the Axeman. He is played by Angelica Houston's brother.
Totally weird.
amazing.
Obsessed. So I'm really excited, and I hope that the Axeman comes into play in this next episode. We'll see. Oriana.
Yes. I did not read the spoiler alert for MM, but I think she's here to stay. Whether or not she's alive, I don't know. But we saw the flashback today with her heart murmur. We saw her dressed up for the tea party. I think Spalding has a love affair of his own with her, that he has his own, like, dead doll. It's not a living doll, but his own dead doll, and that there's going to be some kind of relationship there, whether he wants to get Fiona to help her, bring her back to life or whatever. There's something going on there.
I feel like he's the reason why he's kept her is because she reminded him so much of Fiona when Fiona was young, and he's obsessed with Fiona, so he's like, I'm gonna make my own Fiona.
Right. So there's something is gonna, I feel like that's my prediction, is that we're gonna see maybe a little bit more of Spalding, but something to do with MM as well.
I have one question. Do you think, and this is just random, but do you think the heart murmur was real?
Yes.
You did?
Yep.
See, I feel like they just kind of breezed by it for me.
I mean, they didn't really need to go into it. It was like the Supreme can't
be sick
at
all.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Until next time.
Just a theory.
Until next time, where can our fans find you, beautiful ladies?
Oh, and we're starting with me? Oh, you said beautiful, so...
You thought I was talking about myself.
So she touched her hair.
I'm at Sarah on the go, Sarah with an H, on Twitter.
I'm at Jillian Leff on Twitter or my website, jillianleff.com.
You can find me on Twitter at Miss Oriana Leo, that's ORIANALEO, or on Instagram at Oriana Leo.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at You Can Call Me Skiff. From everyone here at the AfterBuzz TV family, we thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
Happy Halloween.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.